always leave a sweet little innocent girl like me alone.
Well, well, young lady. Is there something I can help you with?
Dr. Eggman!
If you value your life, you will tell me where Sonic and Tails are. Let's take care of business first, shall we, Sonic? Hand over the Chaos Emerald, slowly, and then we'll talk about your girlfriend. That is, if you really care for her.
And an old fake emerald? I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Put the emerald down right there and back off.
You've turned into a big-time villain, Doctor.
Whoa! You thought you could trick me with that fake emerald, didn't you?
So, how did you know it wasn't the real one?
Tails!
Because you just told me once, boy. Now for a little space ride. That's what clears the colony bad.
I'm counting on you, Tails. Amy, take care of yourself.
Farewell, Sonic the Hedgehog. Farewell, Sonic, my admirable adversary. Now we have some unfinished business to take care of. Give me the real emerald, I will release you both. You have my promise.
Sonic!
Huh?
Sonic is asking for the first time to do something for him. I won't let him down. I won't give up.
Alright, welcome back to Sonic Adventure 2.
Sonic, I'll never forgive you for
In this video we are fighting Tails, of course. This is, I would say, slightly harder than the Tails version. Maybe because they expected you to play the hero story first and then the dark story, so it's kind of a little bit more difficult because it assumes that you've played more of the game. But I had to record this a couple different times because Tails just kept using his like special move over and over and over again, and he just kept killing me. So not very fun, but it's not like a significant step up from the Tails version of this fight. As long as you play it smart, you're gonna be fine. And as soon as he says fire, just move either to the right or the left of him, and you should be able to skirt the attack completely.
My power is yush.
My power is yes.
I guess he was just a regular hedgehog after all.
Legend has it that all 7 Chaos Emeralds are collected. The power creates a miracle. I have 6 of them. They're mine. Oh my.
I don't think
Shadow.
so. That was your plan. Or was it a direct order from the president? Now I know who you are. You're that government spy who's the best, aren't you?
So you did your homework. Is that it? I would say that's an invasion of privacy.
I can say the same thing about you.
Looks like things aren't quite going your way. But since my job is done, I thought it was time to take what's mine and get out of this place.
One pathetic creature.
Look who's talking. What about you? Here are the results of the research project called The Ultimate Life Form. But if this picture is of the real ultimate life form named Shadow, then exactly who or what is standing in front of me? believe that you're the real Shadow?
No doubt.
Even your memories might not be real, you know?
Even if my memories are not real, it's still me, the Shadow. And I will fulfill my promise to Maria. That's the only thing that matters to me now.
Alright, so here we go. We got the last speed level in the entire game, technically, sort of. It is, but it isn't. This is not as good as Sonic's level. I really enjoy Sonic's level. And this level used to scare the hell out of me when I was a kid. Because of these spinning platforms here, I feel like they're kind of wonky to platform across. They, you know, you have one wrong move here and you fly down to the ground, basically, is what's going on here in this level. And it always just scared me. It still kind of scares me. It makes me feel a little bit uneasy platforming, just making sure that I'm getting, like, every single move that I could possibly have right. So, playing this level fast is never really something that I've done. I usually take my time and I'm very apprehensive of what I'm doing here. A good strategy is to not even, like, circle across these, like run across them and spin. I would say just jump across them might be the best option, honestly. Like, I think I start doing that here, yeah, where I just start jumping across them instead of actually, like, running on them. Unfortunately, Shadow does not have the bounce bracelet. Is that an optional thing for him? I don't remember. I don't think it is, because I don't remember Shadow having the bounce bracelet, but that would be nice. It would be nice if he had that. Yeah, the sideways ones, I think there really is no option other than to just spin up them. Whereas the ones that are kind of laying down, I would recommend jumping across. Especially later on when they're going to start putting more obstacles on these. It just gives you more control of where Shadow's actually going. And that's how I've always found it best to finish this level. If Sonic's level was more about, like, grinding, Shadow's level is definitely more about these weird little platform things. Oh, cool, the most useless thing in the entire game. I'm glad that I grabbed that. I'm glad that it almost got me killed jumping off of that. Just for the Mystic Melody, which I will literally never use. Because that's mostly used for, like, side missions, which I've never played. Again, this is, like, one of my favorite games from my childhood. I still think it's a great game. I've never gone out of my way to play anything other than just the main missions. Never. Like, there's a whole level in this game that I've just never played. The Green Hill Zone level that you unlock when you get all the medals. Like, I'll never play that. I have no desire to ever go through and A-rank every stage and beat all the side missions. It just, I have no interest in doing that. There are a lot of games that are like that for me where, like, I love it dearly, but there's just certain aspects of the game that I'll never touch. Like, Dead Rising is my favorite game of all time, and I've never played Infinite mode. I mean, I've played it, but I've never beaten it, because you have to actually, I think it's 14 hours real time, sit down and play that for, and that's just not worth it for me. Like, yeah, you get a lightsaber for doing it, but it's not really that interesting to me. I'm sorry. If I were like a big-time streamer or something like that, I would do like a 24-hour stream of just that. That's why jumping across those is better than running, because I was running so fast there that I literally couldn't even see what I was doing. Which is pretty cool when you think about it. Cool to not be able to see what you're doing. But that was my fault. I should have probably paid more attention. And you know what? I don't like this song as much as I like Sonic's level. It's just kind of funky, but it doesn't really fit Shadow, I don't think. His levels so far have been kind of darker and a little bit more aggressive. This one's just kind of funky. There's a little bit of, like, edge to the song, but it's not enough for me to go, like, oh, this is definitely a Shadow song. So yeah, I think this is a bit of a mixed bag. I think Sonic's story ends much stronger than Shadow's does. And then the next time that we're going to play as just Shadow is probably one of my least favorite parts of the entire game. Not the fight with Sonic, but you know what comes after that, when you play as him after that. Another one of those things from when I was a kid, literally like unplayable for me. I could not do it. Yeah, so here's why I'm saying, like, just jump across them. It's much easier. I think you have more control of your character. And also, I was scared that I was just going to get one-shotted by one of these enemies. There are just certain times with playing this game where you have to play it like a survival horror, where you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get hit. Not good. Not good stuff. Would rather that not happen. This also doesn't really feel like a final level, if I'm being honest. I feel like you could have switched this level and Eggman's last level, and that probably would have been better. It feels more, like, final. So I would have switched Shadow's level and Eggman's level. I don't know what that would have done to the story, but I think you could have done it.
I guess I'm not at full power here. You never cease to surprise me, Blue Hedgehog. I thought that capsule you were in exploded in space.
You know, what can I say? I die hard.
So, there's more to you than just looking like it. What are you, anyway?
What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventure. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
I see. But you know, I can't let you live. Your days are coming to an end.
Alright, final boss of the Dark Side story, Sonic T. Hedgehog. Basically same exact strategy as the Sonic version. I think I get a lot more aggressive though this time, where I just start spamming the homing attack button, because that is a valid strategy. I didn't have to show it off like properly this time. But again, you can light speed dash into him if he happens to spawn right in front of a trail of rings, which is like a 50-50 shot. There is, of course, the ability to somersault into him, like that, which is fine, but I don't think it controls well on the Dreamcast version. I think the analog stick on the GameCube's a little bit better. Or you could do my favorite method, which is just homing attack into him until he dies, and hope that you don't fly off the stage. One of you is eventually going to get hit. You just gotta hope it's him and not you. That was one of those like real big nostalgia moments for me when they brought this song back in Sonic Generations. That was really cool. Because you'd think that they would just play like one of his actual themes, but it was the the actual song from this game, which is pretty cool.
I failed. I told you, I'm the ultimate.
I told you, the ultimate life form, Shadow T. Hedgehog.
This completes my plan to take over the world. Now begins the glorious era of the Empire of Eggman.
I always really loved that ending. It's just, you know, the bad guys won. This is the Empire Strikes Back of Sonic games, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the Dark Side story. I think it's significantly better in terms of story and pacing than the Hero Side story. However, I do think that the Hero Side story has more, like, good levels. The Sonic levels are 1,000 times better than the Shadow levels, even if Radical Highway is exactly that, radical. I would still prefer to play the Hero Side story, but the Dark Side story has the better story. I think it's way more in-depth. I feel like there's more reasons for things going on. You know, Knuckles is just kind of there for no reason, whereas all three of these characters have a valid reason to be a part of the story. You know, the Rouge levels are pretty mediocre. I would even go so far as to say is that Knuckles probably still has the better levels, even though I do not like the treasure hunting at all in this game. But Eggman, I think, is a significant improvement of Tails. I think his levels are better. Shadow is a mixed bag. You don't play as him as often as Sonic, and his levels are good but not as great as Sonic's, except for, of course, Radical Highway. But, you know, whatever. It's fine. If you look at the game overall, I think it's a much stronger package than one of the two stories. I wish that there was a way to get this game so that it plays out in chronological order rather than, you know, Hero Side, Dark Side. I think that would be a really interesting thing. If they were to ever remake this game or re-release it, that would be a cool change to do. Because then I think you could probably get a better sense of the story overall. And the actual gameplay styles. I think you have more time to lean into it and stuff like that. I think that would be a nice little addition. I could have obviously recut this playthrough to be in chronological order, but as I said in the beginning, it just didn't feel right to play like Iron Gate before City Escape and stuff like that. But, you know, whatever. I think you could still start the game with City Escape and then do like a, 24 hours before or something like that. But that's it for the Dark Side story. There is still that little teaser at the end of this, which is great. But I will see you in the first part of the last story.
The ultimate life form.
Chaos
Vengeance.
control.
Space
Desperation.
prayer.
Supersonic.
Collision.
Untamed power of
Maria.
chaos.
Professor Gerald.
The truth about 50 years ago.
Sonic Adventure 2. Last episode. Wishes are eternal.